Okay, so in this Wealth Insights, I'd like to, because of refinancing, you're going to immediately stand the chance to run into what we call a negative gearing. And I want to try to, through this Wealth Insights, explain to you why negative gearing can be a very dangerous thing. So I do not believe in this use other people's money, and other people's effort and stuff like that, that the mainstream are telling you to do. I'm telling you to check the IRR on your investment to determine the growth, because it's the growth on your investment that is going to make you rich. So let's make an assumption. Let's assume that you are getting an income of 25,000 Rand. The banks nowadays have got certain rules and regulation, and let's assume that they say you cannot invest more than 7,500 Rand on a property. At 8.5%, I think the interest rate just went up. I'm still going to use this example just to give you an illustration. And over a 20-year term, your bond that you can apply is 864,231 Rand. Okay, and let's assume that you apply and you buy a house for 864,231 Rand and with 100% bond. In other words, all costs, everything is included. You're the first time homeowner to buy that property. Right, you do an analysis on this. And based on the Property Pro, you're going to see that there's a loss because this is the rentals that you're receiving. This is your payment per month. There's a loss of 3,179 Rand. And let's assume that your cash flow, in other words, you've got that money as a surplus. So what will the situation be? If you do analysis with the Property Pro program, and I've used this, I'm not going to show it to you now, but in the seminars and so forth, I use this as an example. And you see that the growth on that property is 57.08% over a 5-year term, compounded, or the IRR on that. And initially, this property looks like a great property. Okay, but let's assume what is busy happening now in South Africa, the interest rate goes up. And let's assume in a year's time from now on, the interest rate went up and goes up to 18%. So the next person that wants to buy your property, because there's two parts to a property, it's the cash flow as well as the equity that's in the property. Right, now he wants to buy it. He's also got a salary of 25,000 Rand, but he can apply only for a bond of 485,000 Rand. Can you see the massive difference between the 864 and the 485? Literally within a year, suddenly this person cannot. And I've been through this numerous times, at least 2-3 times in my property investing career. And this is why I'm so passionate to teach people, be careful for this stuff. Unless you apply the Mercedes principle, unless you know exactly what it is that you do, you're going to run into a serious problem. Now, let's quickly see what happens with the person that has bought a year earlier and that did not do the calculations. Remember, he's got 3,179 Rand surplus. In other words, he's got that available per month, and because of that, he can buy this property. Now, suddenly, the 864,000 with 18% goes up to 13,337 Rand per month repayments. He's still getting the 4,000 Rand income. This means there's a loss of 9,016 Rand. The difference between the two is suddenly he must find out somewhere in his salary or somewhere 5,837 Rand. The IRR immediately drops to 11%. The IRR at this stage is not that important. The important part is how on earth are you going to survive? Because if you can't afford the 5,837 Rand additional on top of the 3,000 Rand that you've got at the moment, you have to put your property on the market. But suddenly, a lot of people are in exactly the same position that you're in. So the market really literally gets flooded with people that wants to sell their properties. Unfortunately, you've got a bond of 864,000 Rand on it. And the person that can buy, that's in the same situation that the year earlier could buy for 800,000 Rand, can only get a bond of 485,000 Rand. So, and this is where the problem comes in. The problem over the long run is not going to be a problem because everything will get back to normal and you will end up at, let's call it 57% over the 5-year term. But on the short run, because of the cash flow, suddenly you are sitting with a massive, massive problem. And normally what now happens, you go to the bank to extend your overdraft, or you apply for that refinancing portion, or on condition that you can afford it. And by now you see that that's going to be a problem. or you go on your credit cards, or you go and borrow the money. So if I can give you a suggestion, please make sure that you understand the dangers of negative gearing, which is caused by refinancing, and rather apply, gain the competencies, come to my courses, understand what we're talking about when we talk about property investment, and when a property is a great investment and when it's not, and then apply the roll-in strategy to make absolutely sure that you've got that cushion, as well as that opportunity, that if something like this presents itself, that you can take that opportunity and really grow your money like it's going out of fashion. Okay, so I hope that you've learned something from this as well. And if you've got any questions, simply ask me. I'll see if I can answer you.